Hello and welcome back to BIPC. We are going to be jumping into the upper bracket section of the competition. My name is Doc, as you can see just down there, and I'm joined by the one and only Yatta Garasu. How you doing? Or Yatta?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. Have you been keeping track of the games so far?
I've watched everything so far, and it's been very interesting to say the least, especially that last game.
Yeah, and you're just scraping through, which has bumped Babz down into the game that we are going to be watching now, which, as you were just saying before we got started, is a lot of very highly ranked or highly seeded people, or people who should have been very highly seeded. So I think it's going to be a very close one.
Yeah, realistically, this
We
should have been
are,
a 4 first seeds.
yeah, yeah,
I would suggest.
yeah. It's oh no, it's my webcam. It's actually my webcam live. Oh god. Fucking
Oh,
webcam. All right, sorry. No further mystery. I'll sort this out in a bit, but we will introduce who's actually playing first. Uh, so we are going to be watching Acrose, who seeded quite poorly, but due to internet issues. Babz, Jorday, and Killian. I believe we are actually just about to start now. I think we are restarting the map, so I think we might be jumping into it in a sec.
yes, and it might come as a bit of a surprise that the way this format works when we go through the upper bracket is there'll be 2 players that won their first match and 2 players that came second in their first match. And in this one, we have Killian and Jorday, who won their first 2 matches, and Acrose and Babz, who came second. Acrose losing out, I believe, to Hendo in the first round, and Babz, obviously on stream on the last one, losing out in the last couple of rounds to Naruko. So should be really interesting to see how they get on in this match with the competition that they have.
Yeah, I mean, as we are jumping into the warm up here, it's going to be an interesting one because we've got people like Jorday, who a lot of people have been slating to do very well in the competition. A lot of memes in the chat about how he's going to win it. Not too sure myself, but he's a very strong player. Known probably a bit more for his consistency, but it seems to have had a very sort of steady progression over the years, and is a very strong player. Same with Babz, I guess, who's probably more known for consistency. And then, well, actually, I
I'd
could say the
probably
same about
disagree.
Acrose as well.
I'd probably disagree with Babz.
All right, okay.
Having coached Babz a fair bit over the years,
All right, okay.
I think he's very much a Naruko style player where it's I'm going to try and PB every round, and I don't even realize that there's safe lines that can be taken. So, but Killian is quite the opposite. Killian's more of a consistency player based on what I've seen.
Okay.
So there's probably 3 consistency players in here, and Babz, and we'll
Babz.
see.
Okay.
And we'll see how that actually all plays out over the course of the match. But Babz was
Okay.
looking a lot better actually near the end of that game. I think he had a bit of a
Yeah,
rough
pulled it back a
start.
bit, didn't he?
Yeah. And I do think that's a little bit Babz in a nutshell, where he needs to feel comfortable in a match, and if he doesn't start very well, it can get to him a little bit. So fingers crossed, if he gets a good start, I think all 4 of them it'll be very close.
Yeah, I think Babz was possibly higher on TA. Oh, apart from I believe Acrose. So I think he's definitely got the pace to maybe stand out as we move into the first round here. Jorday taking an early lead. It's a very nice line through that adverse camber section into the plastic here. Finds himself around about a 10th ahead of the pack as we go into the uphill dirt, where it's kind of tricky to keep that gear. Do we see anyone dropping it? We see Killian and Babz dropping a little bit further behind, but all currently together. Who's that with the wonky line through there? It's Babz. Oh, someone's hit the
Mistake
wall.
up front.
Jorday. Possibly favourite going into this if Acrose keeps having internet issues, and he finds himself in 4th in the first round. And with Acrose and Babz, 1 and 2 currently, although Killian is fighting for that 3rd place, but gets a little bit of a slowdown over that black platform section. Well, close there from Babz in the end.
It was. So one thing that might actually help Babz a bit here is The difficulty of the first round matches was quite different depending on obviously which one you looked at. There were some players that were winning by 40 plus points and their matches ended very early. But whereas Babz was playing basically right up until, this round started. So he's already warmed up. He's basically going straight from one match into another one. And it looks, obviously one round isn't a great sample size, but it looks like he's keeping that consistency he had at the end of the last match, which will definitely help him if he can keep that going.
He's kept his fingers warm, and he looks like it's going to pay off here. Although Acrose with an early lead into this, Killian finds himself a little bit behind the rest of the pack, but not outside of striking distance. Okay, now he might find himself outside of striking distance. Hits the wall, and it's going to be the three up the top here, all within 2/10 of each other. Babz goes inside, loses the gear on that dirt, and he's going to find himself dropping down here. But it is Jorday and Acrose with the battle up front.
Yep, and Acrose is looking like the internet issues seem to have gone away. Fingers crossed. But it was mentioned, I saw Magpie say in chat that it tends to get worse the more players there are, i.e. in the seedings. So fingers crossed Acrose isn't going to have any of these issues. But that was a very good round, actually. There was only 0.06 between the top two.
Yeah, and Acrose finds himself with another win here, still on 100 points. And where do we find the others? Babz in second place here, and then Jorday, and then Killian, but no one slipping too far down. Killian with 13
I think there's been
point,
no mistakes from either Babz or Acrose so far. I think both Jorday and Killian have made a mistake, which has put them in dead last. This is this level of competition where if you do make a big mistake like that, you will expect to find yourself in last for that round.
Yeah. Although, Killian, just over this first sort of sector, finds himself in fourth place a lot of the time. Although Babz there with another wonky line through that section. Finds himself a full second down, but it seems like Killian on this map just doesn't quite have the pace over the first sector, and then has to try and compensate for that through the rest of the map. Although he's not too far off the back of Jorday at the moment.
No, Killian over the last few months really has improved a lot at the game. He was one of the better players in BIPL Div 2, but coming into the end here, it looks like it's just going to finish a 1-2-3 as they came into it.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, Killian has improved quite a lot. In BIPL, the previous one, he was in Div 2 and he did very well in Div 2. However, he's realistically more like a Div 1 player at this point. And
yeah, it was him and OC who were 1 and 2, weren't they? And there was people were kind of surprised that they were even down in Div 2.
Yeah, exactly. And Killian recently won IOC, beating out Babz. OC didn't play, but beating out the competition that there was in that, and he's looking to build on that.
Yeah, comes into it with a lot of momentum. He does, with some good performances under his belt over the past few months. And he has the Guinness skin.
Actually, he was the maker of the Guinness skin.
Is he the maker of the Guinness skin?
He is the maker of the Guinness skin.
Incredible.
I did find it funny in some of the commentary earlier, like Killian repping the Guinness skin. I'm like, he's the creator. I'll have you know.
He's the OG. He finds himself in second here, trying to fight off Babz, but Babz just sneaks past him into second place now. Killian goes wider. He's going to get more speed here, but how is that going to translate into the final section? It's going to come down to this final drift. Acrose picks up another win. Killian tries to go close, and for his sins gets a fourth place instead. Sorry, who did I say won? It was Jorday who won, not Acrose.
Well, Acrose loses his first points though, which is big for the rest of the guys here. As you said, Killian was risking that end, and from the looks of it, the line he took, he could have sniped the inside and actually taken Babz, but it was quite a high risk attempt at the end, I think. I don't think he expected to not finish at all until after Acrose, but that end is pretty risky anyway. We've seen quite a lot of mistakes already today on this.
Yeah. It's deceptive. It's not hard to actually get, but because you have sort of the finish, it's sideways. You need to sort of risk to come onto sort of the closer side of it. Or you will lose out. As we move into Menace here, which is Another Kerberos map. We're having 2 Kerberos maps in a row, I believe.
This is Capital, right? Am
Oh no, wait. This is Capital. It is a Kerberos map though. I got it right. I got it half right. Yes, this is Capital. You can tell the ones that I didn't play. I can recognise Candy Crush at 50 paces, but yeah, I haven't got a clue on these maps.
I mean, looking at warm up doesn't look like Killian's got much clue on this map.
But yeah, this is another Kerberos map, and I think a lot of people would be surprised when you say that this is a Kerberos map because it doesn't have reactor penalty sand or grass or anything like that. This is sort of the older style of Kerberos map before he really sort of got his signature style. Not saying that it's not a great map. It is a fantastic map. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't have been voted to be part of this competition. But,
Yep. And it's got an interesting end, I think it's fair to say, this map.
Yes, there's some interesting clips as the ending.
I feel like this was the map where there was a double DNF.
It was. It's yes. It's the Nyarako and Matt P classic, which Killian gets a little bit of air over that plastic section, finds himself slightly further behind at the start. Oh, who's that? He's hit the wall. Is that Acrose? Oh, a massive mistake from Acrose there. And it's Jorday and Babz, the 2 good focus players, who find themselves up at the top here. Jorday goes more inside than Babz, gets great speed out of it as well, and pulls ahead by around about a 10th. Through the other plastic section. Into the funky jump drift. Who's going to get the best speed out of it? Possibly Babz. Reels him back in a bit, but goes wider on the grass and allows Killian to catch back up into this final dirt section. Who's going to get it best? Killian goes far more outside and he's going to pick up a 2nd place here, probably. Yes. Nice comeback from Killian there after a slightly slower start.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Killian so far throughout this match, it does look like he doesn't have the pace of the others, but he's sticking in there up until the end, and that was a really good push. He got so much speed coming out of the drift going on the uphill, and he just took it onto the dirt. I'm actually quite surprised that he passed Babz because Babz is mainly a dirt player, so the fact that Killian was able to get the outside better and get that much speed is quite impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like there's a couple of outside dirt sections on this map that really make a difference. Sort of this first dirt is difficult to get. Kind of a bit of an awkward one to get without having to release, and it feels like it makes around about 1/10 of difference. And then you're straight into a plastic section where it's possible to get air on the inside, which can really throw you off. And it looks like Acrose is having a little bit of trouble out of that section. Wonky landing, finds himself all the way down in 4th, and we've got Jorday and Babz up the front, and Killian ready to pounce around 2/10 behind again. Can he snack Babz for a 2nd time here?
And there's only 1 point now, actually, between Acrose and Jorday, and if it stays as it is, Jorday will overtake him.
Babz getting to do it much better this time round, and does pick up a 2nd place. And Killian here, unfortunately, finds himself slipping further away from the pack, although Babz isn't too far behind him. I mean, ahead of him. But yeah, we do find ourselves with a new current leader. Jorday on 82 points. Acrose drops down to 73 points. Seems like he's just had a couple of major mistakes instead of the smaller mistakes everyone else seems to be having. The Acrose one seems to be big ones like that, where he touches the wall on a section where he's going to get some funky gears through the plastic after, and finds himself around about 7 or 8/10 behind. And the 3 at the top here having a great battle. Killian finds himself up in 2nd.
Yeah, he's more in touch and distance this round compared to the last few where he was already 0.2 behind at this stage. If he can keep it up, he seems to have quite a good ending. So he's definitely in with a shout for this round. But Jorday just looks so good out front. Doesn't look like he's making any mistakes around here and has the pace to match Babz.
Yeah, he's been very consistent so far. Just every round's been 1 or 2/10 ahead coming into this final sector, although Babz is going to be right up there this time. He might actually... Whoa, nearly sniped him.
Snipes Killian on the line! 3,000!
What a comeback from Acrose! I wasn't even paying attention to him.
I was specking Killian, and he actually took the ending quite well. So it wasn't a case of he made a mistake. It was just Acrose was that fast in the second half of this map.
Just full sending to try and recover some points, because Acrose now only finds himself 6 points behind Babz. I mean, ahead of Babz. I've been watching too many things that are in cut mode instead of reverse cut mode. Getting confused. Yeah, Babz is currently in 3rd position here. Acrose in 2nd, only 6 points ahead of him. And Jorday now with a slightly more convincing lead than before coming into this map. Babz goes extremely wide on that drift. Works out well for him.
He's in 1st place now. It's been a battle up top between Jorday and Babz, but Jorday's been getting the better of each of these rounds. Only by a few thousandths, but really it adds up in terms of points. It doesn't matter how close you are if you don't get the 1st place. They're all so close. Acrose is even with a chance of 1st place here if he gets a really good outside dirt, which he did last round. But they all get it about as well as each other, and there's no overtaking on the line.
Yeah. I think that is a good time there from Jorday as well.
So Killian's not very happy getting a -10 with that round, which I think is fully understandable. That's probably been the closest map so far up front. There was not too many mistakes apart from Acrose making a couple. But I think that really shows the difference in pace between the 4 of them, where Babz has not been making many mistakes, really, and is up top with Jorday and Acrose when he hasn't made any. But Killian's just that little 0.2 or 0.3 behind per round, which is really costing him in terms of points. He hasn't played badly at all. If he was in any of the other matches, he'd probably be in the top 2. It's just this match particularly has got so many good players that are playing, honestly, really well. So, coming into warm-up now, we're moving on to Menace. And I'm watching Killian here in warm-up, and he's making a lot more mistakes actually in warm-up than he is during the rounds, which is quite impressive. I think this is a very interesting track, which has got quite a tough section that Killian's coming up and showing us now, where you need to try and keep the gear. There have been cases where people are going down and keeping 3rd instead, which works okay. But this ending, I remember in previous competitions, this ending caused so many issues for players. Trying to take that outside and keeping the speed is actually a lot more difficult than it looks. And there was elements of people trying to keep too much speed and crashing and then just costing them their places. But equally, there were cases of people not risking it enough and not taking any speed into the actual jump at the end and getting passed on that jump. So it'll be interesting to see how much people actually push it and whether there are any mistakes that cost people rounds. So going into the round here, we've got Killian out in front. No mistakes so far from anyone. They're all very close, although Killian does take a little bit more of a drift.
Whoa. Nobody getting the wet wheels through that drift.
That's good. They're still on top of one another. No one's going inside, as we saw.
No one going inside.
As we saw in the seeding.
I think they are roughly the same amount of time. It's just inside is more difficult for absolutely no gain. So
and it also looks funnier if you're doing it with everyone else doing it.
Yeah, the only person doing it. Jorday again with an early lead. Seems like everyone's struggling to keep up with him. Some great pace so far. So Babz with great again through the dirt, and Acrose. Babz get a little bit of regrip on that white platform section. Oh, and too much speed through there. Clips the wall. It's going to drop all the way down to 4th. And this might be a round win for Acrose. No, he goes 2 inside, and Jorday is going to pick up the win.
That's exactly what I was talking about in the warm-up, with the Crows going 2 inside and releasing that speed before the jump, because it makes a lot more of a difference than it looks like.
Yeah. There's some key geometry on that block, which means that if you go 2 inside, you just lose all control. So yeah, it's something you've just got to manage. It's definitely repeatable. It's not like random, but yeah, you can end up with some interesting lines through that if you mess it up.
Yeah.
As we saw Acrose sort of trying to scramble braking and all sorts, getting back on track. And we find Babz and Killian up the front here, although everyone all within just over a tenth of each other.
Yeah, and I
Acrose
think
goes a bit
Killian
wider
needs
on the
to
drift.
really start pushing and trying to take it as far as he can with his pace, because it doesn't look like anyone else is really making mistakes. So he's just gonna sort of die by 1,000 cuts at this rate.
Yeah, Babz has strung together a few good rounds and has really eaten into any chance that Killian had of getting back into this. Although Killian's
mistake
right up
from
there at the moment,
Jorday.
and Jorday has made a mistake. Can Jorday try? Killian try and get another?
Killian crashed.
Oh, Acrose has
Killian
won
crashed.
it. Where did Babz and Killian both touching on that final dirt?
So Acrose did something interesting compared to the others at the end. He took more of an inside line and released, and he was doing that to get pushed out onto the outside, which let him keep more speed. It seems counterintuitive, but he did it in such a way that he was able to keep more speed, and that's why he overtook Babz right at the end.
Interesting. I suppose instead of oversteering, you just release a little bit and allow yourself to take a shallower trajectory
he sort
through.
of. Maybe we could watch it again this round if he does it again, but it looked like he used the geometry of the dirt to push him outside to actually push him outside. So he kind of clipped it intentionally.
Right.
But I only saw it in a brief glimpse from someone else, but that's what it looked like.
We've had a major mistake
from Babz in
here
this
from
round.
Babz.
That's 2 in a. Actually, it's not 2 in a row. He's fine last round.
Although,
but
well,
that-
he did clip right at the very end, but yes, it's a more major mistake this time around. And Acrose finds himself in the lead. I think he's. Oh, I couldn't tell if he got an interesting gear there or not. I just heard the gearbox struggling, but I think he did just about manage to keep fourth there. Killian with a good line in the ending, nearly challenges Acrose. Oh, close one in the end.
Another good round, another close round between the players in this match. It's a toss-up between who it's going to be in the top 3 places, but they seem to always be close, the top 3. Maybe one person makes a mistake, but it's not always the same person, and it's,
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the rounds are. Oh, Acrose has clipped the hole at the start. He's going to find himself dropping a long way down here. Although, Babz has got the water wheels. That's a massive mistake from him. I don't think that's recoverable either. He's done it again. Oh no. Well, that's you can write off this round. And it's going to be 3 points here for Jorday and Killian if they can keep it together.
Well, you say that Acrose is still within
down.
striking distance of Killian if he doesn't take the lines correctly. We've seen that happen in previous rounds where Acrose just out of nowhere pulls back half the track. Feels like.
Yeah, you were saying that it's been close round. Jorday gets the regrip on the white platform there. Oh, Killian nearly clips the wall. Yeah, it's been some close rounds, but but sort of the overall points are not as close as I was expecting them to be. There are some real big gaps. Oh, Acrose. I don't think he's going to crash 12 seconds worth, but Killian finds himself with a valuable second place there. Babz is going to get a -10. Okay.
Again, though, it's not really enough for Killian at this stage. It's good. It's obviously better than coming in last or third. But if he really wants to have a shot at that top 2, he needs to start winning some rounds. And there's not really much else to be said for it because he needs to pass both Babz and probably Acrose at this stage.
Yeah, he needs Babz with a couple of 4th places and he needs to pick up a win. And we'll see if he can do it on Candy Crush by Mime. This was my favourite map of the pack. I enjoyed this when it first appeared in BIPC 2. There's been some minor amendments to it since then, but it also is looking fantastic with this mod that Hotspot has made. Well, as they all are. But yeah, this is my personal favourite of the pack. We'll see how the guys do on it.
Anywhere on this map that you think is particularly difficult where we should watch out for mistakes?
I think who are we watching? Jorday. Yeah, this dirt uphill was one that I always kind of struggled with. You could have way too much speed sort of coming into it and hit the outside wall. The dirt section at the end, which Jorday has just gone through now on stream, is sorry, not dirt, plastic section. That's really nice. I really enjoy that. But if you can keep the gear there, then you're going to be in for a good time. But in general, it's not one of those maps where there's sort of I'm going to use the word identity. There's not like identity sections where you're going to lose massive amounts of time. It is one where it's just drive it well. just drive it well, and you'll gain time everywhere.
So near the start, there's an uphill left-handed drift that I've seen quite a
Yes.
few people make a mistake on. I actually think that's what sort of caused Boz's meltdown a little bit in the seeding. He made a few mistakes on there, and then I think the round after just sat at the start line. So yeah,
it's a tricky drift, but I don't feel like it's too difficult. The bit that was hard coming for me was if you get the drift well, you get a lot of speed for
change pad.
the precision out of it. Yes, there we go. As we see, Babz and Killian both dropping down at the start with mistakes in that drift section. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that is the identity of this. We find Acrose and Jorday, who are up at the top. Acrose with a very nice dirt section. Jorday not too far behind him. It could come down to this final plastic section. Jorday with a slightly better drift and more speed goes more inside of the plastic, but Acrose is going to get more speed coming out of it. Both of them get that final regrip well, and I think it's going to be a 1-2 for Acrose and Jorday.
Yep, and there was a good battle at the back there between Killian and Babz as well. It was almost like there was two battles there. The battles of the people who did the drift well and the people who didn't.
Killian drops into last chance as well. We could see our first player eliminated. Killian just needs to not come last and try and drag Babz into last chance with him.
Although honestly, I mean, it helps from what seed you'll get in the lower bracket if you go down in third, but the difference between fourth and third isn't that much in this. Like no. It's much more important between third and second. So I think you'd prefer Acrose to come last than Babz if he was going to choose someone. They all got to start well this time.
In first. Yeah, they have. Acrose gets the dirt really well though. Comes out of it in first. Babz goes wide on the sausage drift. Is that going to pay off for him? He's going to have too much speed coming through there. Has to readjust slightly. I think he gets a funky gear because of it, and Killian comes back through. And he's going to survive another round here. He does. Babz coming in last. And now anything except second place will also drop Babz into last chance as well.
Yep, and unfortunate for Killian and Babz, the person who won the round was Acrose. So not getting any closer to that third place. It's that second place.
Yeah, and Acrose is slowly reeling in Jorday here as well. Only 12 points between them now, just a couple of rounds. He gets the drift well. Killian does not particularly. Jorday and Acrose do the best. They come out of it in first and second. Babz decent through the dirt though, not too far behind. Killian finds himself around about 2/10 behind, 3/10 behind now. As we head into the dirt uphill. No one clips the wall. Oh, Acrose clips the wall on the exit. And it's going to come down to Jorday and Babz here. Babz just needs to stay in second to not go into last chance on this round. But Killian is chasing him down here. But Babz with great speed out of it. Now that pole has been removed on that final section, gets great speed and survives another round, and so does Killian.
Yeah, it's really big that as well. Acrose in last place for Babz and Killian. Babz only has 1 point, as everybody in the chat is calling out.
And good for Jorday as well. Jorday has now extended that lead to over 20 points just in that one round. Which is unfortunate for Acrose. Oh, and it's going to be another mistake for Acrose now. Clips that start precision. Finds himself 4/10 behind.
Yep, just 4 of them in a row, and he's in last chance.
Come on, Killian. You can survive that long.
Well, if he keeps making those mistakes, there's definitely a chance.
Yeah. That's the thing about last chances. You just got to keep it consistent. You don't have to come first. You just have to not come last. Although saying that, he's currently in first. Gets the dirt uphill very nicely as well, heading into this Sossig drift.
Oh, but Jorday got it better and has
Jorday gets
overtaken
it
him.
very
and
nicely.
Babz.
Killian's going to drop down to third here, but it's not going to matter for him. He just needs to stay ahead of Acrose. He needs to just get the finish now. He's got the speed for it, I believe. Yeah.
Yep, a lot of those places
with
didn't
another
really
minus
matter
10.
because Babz is in last chance no matter what. Killian's already in last chance, and they're not catching Jorday. So,
yeah, I believe we're going to be heading back into Ledior now, which I think Killian had a little bit of trouble with first time round.
he
And
came out of
Babz
it in last
also in
place,
last
so.
chance. So yeah, I think that Babz did well on this map first time round. The bits that he struggled with. What is Babz saying in chat?
I think Babz is losing it, I think.
Was he meant to only have 1 point and not be in last chance?
I don't think
Was
so.
anyone in chat paying more attention than us? Because he had 5 points and then he
lost 4 and went down to 1, and then he went into
down to
last chance. I don't understand.
I don't understand either. That's all good.
Oh,
KJ's here now.
Yeah, he's on it. He just wants extra
Oh,
points.
okay.
Oh, just kidding. Good one, Babz.
Oh my god. We have too many technical issues on in these tournaments to make jokes like that. Just makes everyone panic. Yeah, so the areas that Babz had trouble on this first time round, the rotation of this map was the middle sort of U-shaped grass section. Seems like he got the wonky line through there on 2 out of 4 rounds. I think he'll just be praying that he can not get that before he can eliminate Killian.
Yeah,
Although it
Killian
looks
had some
like
trouble with the ending, right, on this?
yeah.
Because I remember
Looks
there was
like
one
they
round at
might
least where he tried to
both.
overtake Babz and crashed and then lost to Acrose.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Okay, Quibs has said that he should be in last chance. Okay, that's good. All right, things are working properly. That's good.
oh, Jorday made a mistake
Already?
yep.
Oh, and he gets a bad gear through the grass because of it now. I think that's a write-off for Jorday. Luckily, he's worked up like a
Jesus, it's like
32
watching
point
me
cushion
come today.
This is pure Div 8 gameplay here.
Mate, more like
Or is that? Is that
I appreciate you being kind, but we're
complimentary?
realistic here on this channel.
Killian
doing a lot
in
better.
first currently. Yeah, they're all.
He was normally at least 0.2 or 0.3 behind the pack the first time round. I think he's got into this game a bit more now. He's probably getting used to the pace a little bit and how much he needs to push.
Yeah, I mean, in future matches, he just needs to figure out how he can do that earlier in the game rather than be it all the way down in last chance for a map and a half.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, if you're in last chance for a map and a half, you're doing something right.
Yeah, true. I mean, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the final standings. So we will see how it ends up. Jorday saying sorry. Okay.
This round did feel a little bit like a waste of time because nobody lost any points apart from Jorday.
Josh in chat saying, "Oh, WTF Jorday?" Yeah. He's off to a start at least this time.
Yep. At least he got some gears. Yeah. Didn't hit any walls. This looks like the first playthrough of this round with Killian just a bit behind the rest of the pack.
Yeah, relatively clean, but just a bit slower. And Babz also dropping slightly further behind. Oh, Killian goes wide on that drift, and he's going to drop behind by half a second here. Babz doesn't get the wonky line.
Oh, mistake from Killian. Big mistake from Killian. That's multiple seconds.
Oh, that could be all she wrote for Killian there. Up the top, though, we have Jorday and Acrose fighting things out.
I wouldn't put it past other people to make mistakes, though. I'll be honest. I'm watching Babz and I'm scared.
Squeaky bum time for Babz here.
Yeah.
Coming into this last drift, gets it clean,
Well played.
gets the
Yep.
finish clean, and that's it for Killian.
That's a GG's for Killian. Well played. Babz was sweating it. I think it looks like from the chat.
A valiant effort there from Killian, though.
Yes.
I think he'll be going into the lower bracket with a bit more confidence with that that performance, particularly in the second half of this match. Saying he doesn't deserve to last that long, but I don't know. I think he does. He spent 75% of all of the maps on par with the other three players, who I should again reiterate are very highly ranked in this.
Yeah, it
so I
feels a
think
little
he definitely
unfortunate
does
for him
deserve
to
it.
win his first round match, then come up against the lower two players of Acrose and Babz.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those things that happens in sports tournaments and game tournaments and things where it's almost like if you qualified in second place, you might have got a better draw than if you qualified in first.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the luck of the draw.
Exactly.
I think it's thrown a bit of a spanner in the works with Acrose's internet issues. Oh, Babz with much more of a jump over that transmission.
I think he knows he needs to
God,
push.
I thought he was going to clip the inside there. He needs to push here. I can see Acrose's nose coming in. Goes wide on that drift.
He's got more speed, but Acrose is more inside.
Oh.
Wait, how did
Acrose clipped the side and didn't quite get the
Ah.
hitbox for the finish.
That was close. Oh, the
Good
point
round there from
separation has
Babz.
changed.
Yes, they do. When someone's eliminated,
Yes.
the points. Yeah.
I just didn't think of it. So it's down to 9 now. He's not losing 10 points for last, so it doesn't make any difference.
No, Babz still needs to not come last.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's going to be in his head at the moment is he gets some clean rounds in, don't come last. And I think within 2 rounds he could, in theory, drag Acrose down into last chance with him. And Acrose does find himself down in 3rd place. Who I've just realised Acrose is wearing the beautiful Kapan Kunri skin, made by the one and only Wizzy, who will probably be watching later on. I'm not sure how his match is going, but in the grand final, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think we'll probably see some of these players in the grand final. It's interesting that this kind of caliber of player, all 4 players, this type of match has come this early on in the competition.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, no one's being eliminated at this time. I'm sure we will see all these players again later.
Just so
on.
wide. Babz went way too wide. Oh, that cost him the whole upper bracket.
Oh,
That
Babz.
was very unfortunate.
Oh. Babz then down to the lower bracket, and yeah, as I said, I'm sure this won't be the last that we see of Babz. Very good player. I'm sure he'll have a really, really good run through the lower bracket. So yeah, Jorday with a commanding lead here over Acrose. Could have him knocked out in a couple of rounds. Although it is Acrose, you never know. Very
He
good
has
player.
stated second easiest comeback of his career, so we'll see.
What does he think the first is? If I missed something.
Did he come back against Boz in a really, really ridiculous one, or am I misremembering that in a BIPL? Maybe someone in chat can tell us.
It's probably one that I've casted and just have not been paying attention.
It's like revising for an exam. As soon as the exam's over, you've forgotten everything that's happened. That's
gone.
what casting is.
Yeah.
I remember there were some players, and it was a good match, and that's about it.
Oh, so I think some of the other games are finishing currently.
Yeah, seems like OC was right apparently against Boz. He didn't. It was a bit of a big gap. I'll tell you what, actually, a lot of the other matches have been quite big gaps as well. Wizzy still has 68 points left, and
wow,
Jaden's on 0, and everyone else is out.
Double digit Don drops down to 1 digit. Wow, or no digits even. But... Okay, we are going to be presumably this is going to be the last map. Unless there's some major issues from Jorday here. Acrose gets
has called the
first
comeback.
dirt.
You can't deny that.
That's true. Yeah. Could get another full rotation. Minus 9 points. It will be. I think we don't still only ever get one more map. I think after this one.
It's down to -8 reparation now, right? For last.
Yeah, you're asking me to do maths here.
6 rounds. It'll be 6 rounds of
6
last
rounds.
place. And then a 7th round for knockout. So maximum 7 rounds. So you are right.
Yeah.
But Jorday's,
So it
unless
could have
there's a mistake
menaces
from
to the
Acrose,
side. Yeah,
this is
Jorday
the
a
start of
second
the
behind
comeback.
here. Yeah, that's one under the belt already.
Regardless of what happened that round, if Acrose doesn't win the round, he's in last chance.
Yeah, down onto 5 points now. Well, I think Jorday will not be sweating too much just yet.
Yeah, I wonder if that one round where
cushion.
nobody lost any points apart from him losing 10 is going to matter. When he went down from 60 to 50.
Takes an early lead here, but there's not a lot in it. Into this tricky drift. Both of them keep the gear. Jorday goes very wide. He's going to get a lot of speed coming into this. Acrose clips the CP. Still makes the jump clean, so he's not out of it yet, but he's over half a second down. Jorday just needs to hold it together here, and he's going to dunk Acrose down into last chance. Into the jump drift. Into this final grass section and uphill. Keeping it clean. How safe is he going to take this dirt? Relatively, and he brings it home.
Yeah,
So,
never really looked worried, did he?
Nah. Very, very calm there from Jorday.
Babz is calling the GG.
Babz has called it already. Babz has forgotten the format. Acrose with another great start. Jorday over a 10th behind. Who's going to get this drift better? Oh, both.
More speed from
I think
Jorday.
Jorday gets more speed there, yeah. Both keep it clean through that really awkward tap drift, but Jorday drops behind here. Acrose gains over a 10th during through that section. Jorday has to release as he goes wide, yeah. And I think Acrose just needs to keep it clean, and he's going to survive another round.
Well, clip from Jorday, that's it. Nicely. That's that round over.
Yeah. I mean, Jorday's got rounds to play with here.
Yeah, it's 56.8. That's 0.1 quicker than what we saw, I think, any of the first go round. Very nice time.
I think it's just Acrose makes a significant amount of time in the start compared to Jorday. If he gets this outside dirt nicely, which he does again, just instantly gains a 10. Feels like he's just has the line up into that little jump into the dirt much better than Jorday does. No issues through the drift.
It almost feels there's a lot less pressure on Acrose now that he's through. Because he seems to be making less mistakes.
It is what it is. Yeah. Keeping it clean again. Although Jorday is sort of reeling him back in here a bit.
Oh,
and Acrose clips the wall on the jump drift. It is a very weird feeling jump drift.
Outside from Jorday. Why did he
Jesus.
release? Why did he release?
Why did he release?
What is he doing? He's trying to give us a heart attack. Oops.
God. But yeah, great performance from Jorday there. I can see why people are slating him to win. Acrose, I believe, has been top 6 in the last couple of BIPCs, I think. So yeah, I mean, either way, he's definitely one of the best players in the country, and yeah, that's a great performance there from Jorday to wrap that up relatively comfortably. Yeah, and drops himself into the upper bracket.
Yeah, it's it was a good game coming into it. It was, I think, it was as good as we sort of expected it to be. It was quite close on a round by round basis, and I think that everyone gave a performance they can be proud of. I think
Yeah,
Jorday
I mean,
obviously came out
yeah.
of this with with the win, but it really could have gone to either him or Acrose with the way they were playing at the end.
Yeah, and even on sort of a round to round basis, they were all relatively close. It was just I mean, you could say this about any match, but it was the mistakes that made the difference. Like Killian definitely had the pace to keep up with the rest of them, but it just seemed like it was a couple of wall touches, a couple of clips here and there that just made him drop off in the points. Same for Babz to a certain extent, although both of them had a good last chance run. But yeah, excited to move on to the next one. See who's.
I've just seen the upper
coming through.
semi-final. I've just seen the first upper semi-final. Wizzy, Boz, Acrose, Neruko.
Oh,
That's a
yeah, poor
that's a
yeah.
yikes.
I think yeah. Oh god. So, oh lordy.
The other one's Jorday, Hendo, Jadon, and OC.
So you might have to correct me here, but we're not going to see those until they're the round. They're the
I think
games
they're
after this
tomorrow.
next game.
Oh,
They're the last games today. Yeah.
sorry, they're the last game today. Correct. Yes.
So I think the next one that we'll be looking at will be a lower bracket round 2, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see who we've got. I mean, there's some good names down here. Rebel nearly took. Who was it? Rebel did very well in his first game and was unlucky to drop all the way down into the lower bracket. I'm trying to find him here. Bloody
Rebel
lost
won
him.
in
Rebel.
the
Nearly
number.
beat Acrose. That was it. He nearly
Yeah.
came up against Hendo and Acrose.
Well,
Tough
he
game,
won
but
his
yeah,
lower
did very
round.
well.
His match R. So he won
Yes,
that against
Zeres.
Zeres and Bog Warrior.
Boggy. Yeah.
Yeah, Boggy. Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, Rebel, good player. Zera's also a good player. We've also got Chris down there, Zephyr Chris. Rob, good player. Orion definitely improved a lot over the last year or so compared to the last one that he played in. We've then also got Sean down there, another good focus player. But then yeah, we're going to have people who are dropping down from the upper bracket now. So they're just coming in now. So match T will be Idol, Killian, Sean, and Eli. And then we got Babz, Octo, Orion, Palubara. And then I believe we're getting the brothers showdown. We're getting Zeres and Rob. We're getting Kai, Miles, Rebel, and Chris. That could be an interesting one. Kai, the split player, up against Chris, who is coming up as not having a team. Does Chris not play for a team anymore? I thought he played for Good Focus. Or was he just guesting? I don't know. And then the last one will be it doesn't want to. That's not coming through. It's not coming through on ECM. Anyway, Koza. There we go. Koza,
Rob, and
Steg,
Zeres.
Rob and Zeres. Yeah, is the brothers, and then Koza and Steg. So yeah, some interesting games that are going to be coming up. We are a little bit behind schedule here, so I'm not too sure when we're going to be starting these. Possibly past. But yeah, we'll double check.
The match T looks quite spicy. It's got So
Oh yeah.
out of the upper bracket, only 2 of the winners from the first round of the upper bracket lost, and they're now both playing each other in the lower bracket.
Ah.
So Killian and Idle will be going
Ooh.
against each other, and Shawnee and Eli are also in that. Eli,
That's going to be tough
Ely?
for Sean. Eli? Ely?
Eli, how's it? Go with Eli.
Question mark? We'll go with Ely. Yeah. We'll go with that. Sarah says the first one. I can't remember which one the first one is. Anyway, we're gonna throw it to a break, and then we will be back for whatever game it is that we choose for that. So yeah, we will see. We'll see you shortly. It'll probably be match 2 though. That one looks the best. So yeah, we will see you all shortly.